Good morning. I'm obviously a tiny bit late for this sunrise, but on, technicality, the sun is still rising. So I'm still here. The water is flooded, the waves are moving around. There's so many trees and stuff in the water. But here we are together in Oklahoma for another Oklahoma sunrise. I'm going to continue with our book that we've been reading, I Mean the Dog. We are on page 227. There's about 1,000 distractions here, so wish me luck, friends. Creating calm, assertive energy. It is one thing to understand what calm, assertive energy is, but how do we create it? And how do we maintain it? Whether we're with our dogs, our families, our bosses, or our co-workers. Excuse me, Lord. In the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, Daniel tells a fascinating story of a firefighter between American and Viet Cong troops early in the Vietnam conflict. Suddenly, in the middle of the shooting, a line of 6 monks appeared and started walking along the rice paddies that separated the two sides, directly toward the line of fire. One of the American soldiers, David Bush, later described the amazing incident. All right, it's early. Here's Crystal's voices. They didn't look right. They didn't look left. They walked straight through. It was really strange because nobody shot at them. And suddenly the fight was out of me. I just didn't feel like I wanted to do this anymore. At least not that day. It must have been that way for everybody, because everybody quit. We just stopped fighting. What did the monks do to create this miraculous event? They sent powerful emotional signals, peaceful signals, that apparently were more powerful than the hateful signals of the warring soldiers. Although this is a very extreme example, it gives you an idea of how the strength and intention of the energy we project can profoundly affect and change the others around us. Goleman describes this as setting the emotional tone of an interaction, which is a sign of dominance at a deep and intimate level. It means driving the emotional state of the other person. What the more powerful person does to control the energy of the others is actually entrain their biological rhythms so that they are working together and not separately. The person who has the most forceful expressivity or the most power is typically the one whose emotions entrain the other. Emotional entrainment is the heart of influence. In order to gain this gift of emotional influence and become a resonant leader, a person must master the 4 domains of emotional intelligence. The first 2 involve mastery of self-awareness and self-management. These abilities are what makes all humans able to be pack leaders in the natural world if they desire it. Self-aware leaders are attuned to their inner signals. They recognize, for instance, how their feelings affect themselves and their job performances. Instead of letting anger build into an outburst, they spot it as it crescendos and can see both what's causing it and how to do something constructive about it. This is an advantage you have over your dog, because humans are one of the only species on the planet able to accomplish this process. Your dog cannot reflect on how his feelings make him feel. He can only react. You, on the other hand, can recognize an emotion and redirect it before it becomes the energy you are spreading on to others. The self-management part of the equation means getting your own emotions in control before you act. Alrighty, we continue. The other two domains of emotional intelligence, as described by Daniel Goleman, are social functions that your dogs practice among each other all the time. I call them instinct. Social awareness or empathy means being tuned. Okay, let me read that all over again. I call them instinct. And then that's the end of that sentence. And the next one, social awareness or empathy means being tuned in to the emotions and energy of the other animals around you. Relationship management. Hang on. Edge of the water and all, you know. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Crystal and the mouse in her pocket. Social awareness or empathy means being tuned in to the emotions and energy of the other animals around you. Relationship management involves the tools of leadership itself, managing the emotions and interactions of your followers. When a dominant dog gives eye contact to another dog that is moving toward his food dish, and the other dog stops and turns away, that is relationship management. When a submissive dog responds to a dominance display by rolling on his back, that is relationship management. It's only humans who often use these tools to manipulate or hurt other people. With dogs, relationship management is done for the good of the pack, to preserve social harmony, reduce conflicts, and ensure survival. Understanding and achieving skill in these 4 domains is the key to creating the right kind of energy to project with your dogs. Alright, here's a super good part as we finish this chapter. The techniques. And we got a success story. So, it's hot in the sun. Techniques from page 230. Becoming a calm, assertive pack leader usually doesn't happen overnight. Many of us have been conditioned from a young age to doubt ourselves, to have low self-esteem, or to believe that being assertive is the same as being aggressive. We are often ruled by our emotions, or are simply unaware of our moods and emotions. My clients all take their own individual routes to nurturing this energy in themselves, and there is no easy step-by-step route to achieving it that I can give you. Calm, assertive energy comes from the inside out. However, which is why the following techniques can be helpful in cultivating it in your life. Before the 19th century, most theater performances were very external things. Acting styles were large, emotional, and over the top. Hang on, gotta play Window Roll Down with my pup. One second. There you go, baby. Alright, let's do this again. You know, my number one audience member is taken the best care of here in the mobile studio. Wiley Dog is here today. So he's looking out the window. Maybe we can catch him. I can't see because the sun is in my eyes. There he is. Right. Thanks for the little spin around the world with me there. Alright, let's get through this together. Before the 19th century, most theater performances were very external things. Acting styles were large, emotional, and over the top. Actors' voices were loud and boisterous, which was necessary to project into large theaters and auditoriums. Most plays were written in exaggerated or lofty language. In 20th century Russia, however, actor and stage director Konstantin Stanislavski pioneered a new acting method. His revolutionary idea was for actors to go within themselves and act from the inside out. Acting would be a psychological and emotional experience, a truth-based experience, and the actor's objective was to be believed by the audience. Stanislavski and later American Lee Strasberg taught that the power of the imagination can be used to alter an actor's consciousness. Actors were trained in relaxation, concentration, and sense memory techniques, so they could call up emotions from their pasts in order to bring the characters they are playing to life. Method acting, as it is now known, is more than just pretending to be angry or happy or grief-stricken. It's learning to call on deep, buried memories of the actual emotion and apply them to the dramatic scene you are playing. When you are watching really gifted actors perform a scene, you can actually feel the contagious energy of the emotion that they are portraying. This is why, when training my clients to harness the power of calm, assertive energy, I often suggest they use acting techniques. Long before I had even met an actor or knew what method acting was, I would ask people to remember a time in their lives when they felt powerful. Try to call up that feeling and use it when they are walking their dogs. When I came to Los Angeles, I learned that what I was suggesting is a very simple form of the intensive training most professional actors go through. Many actors base the fictional characters they play on real people they have known. In my other book, The Caesar's Way, I recommend imagining yourself as a person or a character who signifies leadership to you. For Sharon, an actress who was trained to use her imagination in this way, it was the role of Cleopatra that gave her confidence and helped her to feel in charge when she was walking her fearful dog, Julius. For other clients, it's been everything from Superman to Bruce Springsteen to Oprah Winfrey. ... to their own mothers. In fact, I channel my own mother every time I use the sounds. There's nothing magical about that sound. It's just that it has a big significance for me, since that was the sound my mother made in order to get us kids to behave. If you want to learn more about these techniques, there are many books about the basics of method acting. You can take a beginning acting class, or if you know someone who is an actor, take her to coffee and ask her the tricks she uses to bring a character to life. It's not like you have to learn to perform Shakespeare. Remember, your dog is not a theater critic, but he has to believe your performance. Much like acting exercises, visualization techniques are another behavior I suggest to clients who are struggling with the concept of calm, assertive leadership. Though some may find this approach simplistic, thousands of athletes, CEOs, world leaders, students, military officers, entertainers, and others would never even think of doing their jobs or even starting their day without visualization. Sometimes visualization involves taking a moment before an event to play the whole thing out successfully in your mind, writing a story with a happy ending. If clients are having trouble with their dogs on the walk, for example, after correcting their physical techniques, I tell them to script their walks in their imaginations. As Tina Madden, Nunu's owner, tells us in her success story in Chapter 1, when she was in the process of transforming Nunu and her life, it was important for her to visualize passing by barking dogs and ignoring them. She had to do it over and over and over and over and over again. But when the real situation occurred, she was able to switch over in her mind to the visualization. Most people take visualization to its extreme, self-hypnosis. Much has been written about both visualization and self-hypnosis by psychologists, psychiatrists, and self-help gurus. They will all tell you that visualization takes practice to be truly effective. You will probably not get it right the first time you try it, but the mind becomes more and more powerful every time you do the exercises. Inner dialogue is another powerful technique that can greatly improve the communication between you and your dog. Woo, it's hot. It's hot diggity dog up in here, y'all. Catching the sun means sitting in the sun. All right. Continue. So many of my clients talk to their dogs constantly. They talk in full sentences on subjects ranging from what the dog wants for dinner to the state of international politics. This is good therapy for the human, of course, but it's not usually an effective way to get better behavior out of your best friend. Many times when you are asking your dog to do something using words, you really should be talking to yourself. For instance, Brian and Henry, the owners of Elmer, a beagle with a chronic howling problem, were setting themselves up for trouble before they even left the house for their daily walks. Elmer would be excited and hyper before they even finished putting on the leash. Then he would always try to get out the door in front of them. Since they had watched my show, they knew the owner is supposed to go out the door first. So what did they do? They talked to Elmer, nagging at him. "No, Elmer, us first. Us first." All the time they were letting Elmer try to push them aside. Of course, Elmer couldn't understand the words that they were saying. He could, however, understand that the energy behind the words was a frustrated, helpless, weak, and uncertain energy. Their inner dialogue went like this. "Oh my God, Elmer's going out first again. We're not the pack leaders. We have to stop him." Who was in control? Elmer, of course. His energy and intention was much stronger than theirs, even though intellectually they knew they should be the ones in front. When calling up the calm, assertive pack leader inside, some people are more emotional, some more visual, and some more verbal. The verbal types often prefer to use words first before they can access their emotions or senses. That's why I suggest that these clients have a conversation with themselves anytime they find themselves wanting to have a verbal conversation with their dogs. Slightly offended here because I talk to my dog all the time, but he is my friend, and I call him my emotional support dog. And I get to watch him be friendly to everyone. Everywhere we go, I watch all the animals appreciate him. He doesn't really know any stranger, and after he said hi, he shakes it off and returns to me. So he's my little buddy, and so I think that this part of the book does not apply to me. That's what I'm saying. I think I've successfully found a way to say that my dog is different. Okay, like, so if your dog is different, shout out, respect, this bump in the air, high five that makes contact, all the good stuff. Okay, and I continue. My book, my video, my commentary. Dogs often respond better when there's less sound involved, and you are strengthening your energy by turning your thoughts inward. When claiming a piece of furniture, for instance, focus your mind and then tell yourself, "This is my sofa." Use your body to claim it, repeating that thought in your mind over and over again. By talking to yourself, you are gradually changing your brain, your body, your emotions, and in turn, your energy. It is your energy that speaks to your dog. In other words, talking to yourself is a much faster way to communicate your energy to your dog than trying to use human language to reason with him. No matter how persuasive you are, or how loudly you yell, or how nicely you ask. Okay, I'll read that again because it's too funny. In other words, talking to yourself is a much faster way to communicate your energy to your dog than trying to use human language to reason with him. No matter how persuasive you are, or how loudly you yell, or how nicely you ask. Alrighty. There are other powerful methods that champions in many walks of life use to help themselves feel more confident and powerful. Some of them listen to motivational tapes, like those by Anthony Robbins. Some repeat positive affirmations or write them on pieces of paper and leave them in places all around their house. Like on bathroom mirrors, or the refrigerator door, or above the hook where they hang their dog leashes. Others read motivational quotations and books with daily inspirations in them. Music is one of the most potent sources that can trigger emotional responses. My co-author makes different compilations of music on her iPod based on her mood. Some that she plays before business meetings or stressful situations to motivate her. Some to calm her down when she is anxious or to cheer her up if she's blue. Clients have told me they do yoga, meditation, and Tai Chi, and read spiritual texts, such as the ancient Bible, to connect with their spiritual sides and call up their intuitive inner strength. When, at 8 years old, I started developing frustration and aggression at home in our apartment in Mazatlan, my parents wisely sent me to martial arts training, where I first learned to focus my energy and turn negative energy into positive. Brandon Carpenter, the renowned horse trainer with similar views to mine about the human-animal connection, also studied centuries-old martial arts techniques, where he learned to control his emotion, energy, and body all at the same time. And prayer, of course, is the most powerful force of inner dialogue and intention on earth. Even modern science is becoming open to research that shows that prayer, meditation, and faith can influence events in ways most realists never dream of. Alright, we got a little bit. There's a picture with words. There we go. I'll leave it up here for a second. I'll read it to us. Some techniques for attaining calm, assertive energy. We've got clear and... Okay, I can't read it apparently. Clear and positive intention. Method acting techniques. Visualization. Self-hypnosis. Inner dialogue. Motivational recordings. Positive affirmations, written or verbal. Motivational quotes or readings. Music. Yoga, Tai Chi, martial arts, meditation or prayer. These are all means to access the calm, assertive side of you, the leader within. With calm, assertive energy in your life, you have not only the power to change your dog's life, but if you so desire, your own as well. As for the movers and the shakers I addressed at the conference, some of them will learn to become calm, assertive pack leaders to their dogs. Perhaps it will inspire them to share more calm, assertive energy with the people who work for them and the rest of the world. Others, of course, will keep doing things the way they have always done them. President Theodore Roosevelt once said, "People ask the difference between a leader and a boss, ... The leader works in the open and the boss is covert. The leader leads and the boss drives." In order for your dog to follow, you cannot be just a boss. You must be a guide and inspiration. A true leader from the inside out. Hi, turtle, turtle, turtle. I see you. Okay, again, I said there was 1,000 distractions. and I'm damp with Oklahoma humidity. It's at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's already hot. Woo! Okay, we've got a success story, and that'll get us to the end of this chapter 7. And we'll see if I'm just too hot to go on or not. I can't. If I touch my phone now, then I'll know how hot it is. Right now, I'm just assuming. So let me read this to us, for us, with us. And success story. CJ and Signal Bear. I was working as a contractor in a fenced maintenance yard about the size of a city block when a supervisor came into our office and told us, "We can escort you to your cars for lunch. There is a wild, pregnant chow loose in the lot that is terrorizing everyone. We just called animal control to come and get her." I thought, oh, gee, a chow, pregnant and wild? They will put her down for sure, as that was the policy of the local animal control people regarding feral dogs. I felt compelled to go take a look at this poor victim of a certain death sentence. When I got to the lot, however, I saw a male dog who was scared out of his mind. He was in a panic, barking, snarling, and running around. As an environmental safety and health risk manager with 35 years' experience, my first thought was, can I safely help this dog without endangering myself